I'm noticing that after Yom Kippur, people are not as quick to get into the sanctuary. Like they're all worshipped out or something like that. Rob. Oh, Rob.
Okay, cool. All right. Still early.
No, it isn't.
Huh?
No, it isn't because you're not ready to play.
I was born ready.
All right.
Yeah. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יללי, יללה, לללי. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יללי, יללה, לללי. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, 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 שבת אחים גם יחד.
So the greeting this Shabbat, and it is Shabbat, is Shabbat Shalom
Shabbat Shalom.
and Chag Sameach,
Chag Sameach.
which means a happy festival, a joyous festival, and that's what we're here doing. So let me give you a preview of coming attractions. First of all, I'm Rabbi Shook. Some of you may not know me because we have not done services together for a while. I'm Rabbi Shook, and I'm filling in for Rabbis Fader and Alper as they're taking some well-deserved time off on Friday night. It's not like we haven't done the High Holiday Marathon, and we go right in from the High Holiday Marathon into the extreme, mountain climbing version of the marathon, which takes us right into Sukkot. We're celebrating the festival of Sukkot, the Harvest Festival, the Thanksgiving Festival. And so things are going to be a little bit different tonight for a number of reasons. But when the service concludes, and it's going to be an abbreviated service, but we'll have Kaddish and all the things that we're supposed to have in the service. When service is over, we're going to invite all of you to join us in the sukkah out in front of the temple, where we have some very special goodies for you. Absolutely goodie. And for those of you who are watching through the internet, you don't get any of the goodies that we're doing. And you will all have an opportunity. These are the symbols of Sukkot, the etrog, the citron, the etrog and the lulav, and you will have an opportunity to wave the lulav and the etrog and pronounce the blessings of Sukkot. And I have to tell you that we may cause rain to fall in Missouri. That would be our goal. So we turn to page 2 for the blessing of the Shabbat candles, and it's my honor to invite my wife, Carol Shook, to bless the Shabbat candles.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai
Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu ad l'kner shel Shabbat.
Yom Tov.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who held us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Baruch
Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shalom Tov.
We continue now as we turn to the Baruch Hu on page 28 and 29, and we stand together.
Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai. Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam va'ed. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai.
Page 34, and we continue with the Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Please be seated. And we continue with the Ve'ahavta on page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Page 39. And we read the second reading on that page responsively. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
Ya la 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 ya la la ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedaba kodesh. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedaba kodesh. Nora tefilot oseh peleh, nora tefilot oseh peleh, Adonai imlok leolam va'ed. Ya la la, ya la la la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la la la.
We continue at the top of page 43 with Hashkivenu.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Lishalom. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Hashivenu B'Shalom, V'hamidenu Shomreinu L'chaim, Ufros Aleinu Sukat Shlomecha. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Be our shelter from life's storms. Be our shelter from life's storms.
Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, rebuild a weakened will. On page 46, we rise for the beginning of the tefillah.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomer Chasadim Tovim V'Konei Hakol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot U'Mevi Geulah Lifnei B'neihem Leman Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen Baruch Atah Adonai Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah.
Page 52 at the top. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh ukdoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. Somewhere in your prayer book was folded this special readings for the festival of Sukkot. And I invite you to find that so that we may participate in these readings. And while you're turning to that page, I wanted to relate to you a kind of an experience I had a number of years ago on a trip to Israel, where we were traveling in a very hot, poorly air-conditioned bus in the desert that separates Eilat from the rest of the country. It's a long ride to the bottom of the state of Israel in Eilat. And I happened to look out the window as we were approaching a kibbutz, a collective farm, and I saw a sukkah. Now this was July, okay? I saw a sukkah. It was July, it was hot, and there were people in the sukkah having lunch. And I said to myself, that's what it's for. It's the only shelter within miles of where these people were working in the fields of the kibbutz. It was upright sticks, something laid over the top to provide shelter, a table underneath and a few chairs, and whoever was working that day was in that shelter taking advantage of the sukkah. Now, sukkah is a Hebrew word which the best translation is shelter. We talk about spread over us the sukkat shlomecha, spread over us the sukkah of your peace, the shelter of your peace. It provides coverage, so to speak. But it wasn't until that moment that I realized what our religious tradition had done. Because obviously, at harvest time, those sukkot, those shelters, would have been all over the place out in the fields as people were gathering in the crops, not just one or two in a place, but dozens, if not tens of dozens. And it occurred to me, what did our religious tradition do? It took something ordinary, the sukkah, and made it part of our story. A reminder of thanksgiving, a time of celebration of a simple fall harvest out in a field, sheltered from the sun, and experiencing the joy of the harvest. So when you go into the sukkah and it's 90 degrees outside, I want you to think of that sukkah not just as this symbol of the festival of Sukkot, but as something very practical that was incorporated into our religious tradition to remind us that each and every one of us need, as the song says, a shelter from life's storms. We continue with the reading, Bestow upon us. Bestow upon us the blessing of your holy festivals, and may we so celebrate them as to be worthy of your blessing. Our God and God of our ancestors, make us holy with your mitzvot, and let your Torah be our way of life. May our rest on this day be pleasing in your sight. Satisfy us with your goodness, gladden us with your salvation, and purify our hearts to serve you in truth. Let your Shabbatot and holy festivals remain our heritage, and let us celebrate them with love and favor and joy, so that all Israel, hallowing your name, may have cause to rejoice. We praise you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat, the house of Israel, and the festivals. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh haShabbat v'Yisrael v'hazmanim. The next section is a responsive reading. Let standing corn grow ripe as dewdrops bring their blessing, food for the hungry, healing for the sick. Let the bare vines be draped with grape blossoms as the heavens yield their dew. Let oases drip with plenty and hills be draped in gladness, dressed with flowers in the colors of spring, singing your great goodness as the heavens yield their dew. Let the trees God made be fed on valley and hill, the granaries be filled with grain, the vats with wine and oil. Let every village be joyous and safe as the heavens yield their due. Let those who spend themselves in the study of our faith shine bright as stars. You feed the hungry soul, the dry and empty heart, and fill it with delight as the heavens yield their due. Send your sweet breeze to renew our life, restore to its ancient glory the land of our heritage. You who are good to all, let the time of redemption come and renew our life. Our God and God of our ancestors, as dew descends, let light illumine the earth, let blessing restore the earth, let joy and gladness abound on the earth, let song resound on the earth, and with goodness and sustenance deliver us on earth. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh haShabbat v'Yisrael v'hazmanim. You are forever mighty, Adonai God. You give life to all. You cause the rain and dew upon us. You rain dew upon us. You sustain life through love, giving life to all. Through great compassion, supporting the falling, healing the sick, freeing the captive, and keeping faith with those who sleep in the dust. Who is like you, source of mighty acts, who resembles you, O sovereign, who takes life and gives life, causing deliverance to spring up, and faithfully giving life to all. Blessed are you, Adonai, who gives life to all. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol. We turn now to page 253 for a prayer for healing. Page 253, Amisha Berach. And I invite you, if you have someone's name that you'd like to pronounce for a healing prayer, as I go around the congregation, please feel free to give that name. Okay? I don't want to forget anybody. And we add to those names the names of those on our Misha Berach list: Evan Abowitz, Arlene Alper, Eric Ash, Belinda Dana, Lorraine Elbine, Harold Garber, Marcia Gillerman, Paul Hallekus, Joel Levy, Drew Patchen, Lisi Weinstein.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Ve'goali, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Ve'goali.
As I mentioned at the outset of the service, we will continue now through with Aleinu and meditation before Kaddish, and then we'll conclude the service in here, and you're all invited to join with us in the forced march to the sukkah, which is in front of the temple. And I tell you, you will not be disappointed when you get there. It'll be worth the journey. And if not, complain to Rob again. We continue now on page 282, and we rise for the Aleinu. Well, it looks like that's not going to work. Okay. Yeah, I just put the switch. Aleinu l'shabeach le'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. Let the time not be distant, O God, when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. O may all created in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your realm be established on earth and the word of your prophet fulfilled. Adonai will reign forever and ever. V'hemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yihyeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. Our meditation before Kaddish is found on page 289. The light of life is a finite flame. Like Shabbat candles, life is kindled, it burns, it glows, it is radiant with warmth and beauty. But soon it fades, its substance is consumed, and it is no more. In light we see, in light we are seen. The flames dance and our lives are full. But as night follows day, the candle of our life burns down in gutters. There is an end to the flames, we see no more and are no more seen. Yet we do not despair, for we are more than a memory slowly fading into the darkness. With our lives we give life. Something of us can never die. We move in the eternal cycle of darkness and death, of light and life. On this Shabbat, we mention the names of those taken from us in recent days, and our hearts go out to their families as we recall their names in love. Sheldon Enger, Sandra Greenberg, Shirley Resnikoff. And in love, we now recite the names of those, the anniversary of whose passing, whose yahrzeit occurs on this Shabbat, and whose names have been inscribed in the archives of our congregation or on the Wall of Honor for perpetual memorial. Nathan Altschul, Sarah Schweitzer Altschul, Corporal Lawrence S. Block, Lorraine Berg, Teresa Budwick Klein, Harry Cohen, Stephen Allen Dern, Manuel S. Faber, Evelyn W. Fireside, Jacob Flegel, Eugene A. Freund, Victor N. Friedman, Walter Emanuel Firth, Michael David Gall, Albert Gelfand, Walter M. Glazer, Carolyn Glassman, Esther Goldstein, Jerry Grodsky, Fabish Heldenstein, Leah Heldenstein, Gittel Jette Heldenstein Kalischer, Francis L. Henney, Lee Holtzman, Libby Beatrice Jacobs, Mendel David Kalischer, Irving Korn, Lillian Koslow, Dr. Alfred Lapperman, Nathaniel Mendelson, Leopold Orchard, Amy Dennis Piran, Charles Polsky, Bernadine Poles, Hedwig Reichenberg, Michelle Cheryl Rich, Leon Harrison Rosenblum, Samuel Rothman, Sidney W. Salata, Harry D. Schneider, Ben Schanfeld, Louis Staten, Frida Steindecker, Florence Rosenkrantz Steiner, Martha Levy Steinfeld, Kelly Susan Weil, Paula Kelter Weil, Lily Weinstein, Rosalie Hanlon Woolman, together with those whom we name in our hearts as we turn to words of Kaddish on page 294. Yitgadal, Yitkadash Shemei Rabbah. Bialma divra chirute viamlich malchute. V'chayechon v'yomechon. Uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala v'zman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevorach le'olam milalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudsha barichu. Le'elah min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran bi'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya. V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. V'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. V'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Just so we know that you've said the blessing over food before we start to consume the food out in the sukkah, please join me first in the Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. I'm laughing up here because the one thing we learned is if you eat the challah after you say the blessing, you cannot continue pronouncing the service because you get clogged up with the challah. What it is, that's what it is, okay. Our closing song, we invite, as we sing the closing song, you may exit the sanctuary and make your way to the chapel. I hope we got some directional signs to get you there. We're good? Okay?
Od yavo shalom aleinu, Od yavo shalom aleinu, Od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Od yavo shalom aleinu, Od yavo shalom aleinu, Od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam, salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Od yavo shalom aleinu, Od yavo shalom aleinu, Od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Od yavo shalom aleinu, Od yavo shalom aleinu, Od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al